Okay, so why don't we begin with painting these frames, and why don't we just do this one? Another thing that I would like to point out is that this one is monochromatic. We're mainly using all orange in this piece, and we're only using blue to kind of shade our orange and make it more in shadow. So we're not actually seeing the blue very much here. It's definitely orange dominated, even though it is darker. So why don't we begin by creating our sky and our ground. But I do kind of want to lead you in this one a little bit, because as you notice, the sky is a lot darker, and then we almost have these sunbeams shining down diagonally. And I wanted to show you a little bit of a trick of how you can accomplish that. And you may already know how if you were paying attention in the last few, but I'm going to kind of keep it wet underneath like we did before. And especially down at the bottom here, because that's going to be lighter in value. And why don't we let that soak in for a second? And since we know that the ground or the water or whatever this is going to be lighter in value, we can kind of put that in first. So I'm going to take some orange, add just a slight touch of blue, and maybe even a little bit more. Make it a little bit more neutral looking. And I'm just going to begin by adding in this foreground here. It's very wet. So I'm going to just take my dry paintbrush. I just dabbed it on my paper towel or my shop white. I'm going to pull some of that foreground out, and it's still very wet. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to dry my paintbrush, dab it, and then kind of pull it away more. All right, almost there. Just want to make that a nice transition. So right now it does appear that we don't really have, like, our horizon line is a little bit too high. I definitely want it lower to the bottom of the rule of thirds horizon line. So I'm probably going to try to pull this out a little bit more. I think that's better. Now when I go back in with my orange sky up here, I've got very dark orange over here and dark orange over here. That is part of the framing, but I really do want it to appear that it's a little bit like stormy or cloudy, but I don't want to overdo it. So I think what I'm going to do is just take some of my orange paint and put it over here. And I think I'm going to go a little bit heavy with the orange just to begin with. Just going to get it right in there, and I'm going to work it all the way across. It's very heavy in the orange. I'm going to work as quickly as I can to kind of bring this down to my bottom horizon line. While I'm here, this is when I'm going to take my dry paintbrush. So dab your paintbrush on a paper towel and try pulling up some diagonal lines going this way. So it starts to appear that there's like some sunbeams pulling through this really cloudy sky. And we can always soften this later, but I really just want to get some of these diagonal lines in. And while we're talking about diagonal lines, I know that we kind of mentioned this before, but any kind of diagonal line is so much more interesting to look at than a horizontal or a straight line when you add it into your piece. We're so used to seeing horizon lines, and the vertical lines are just complementary to the horizontal. But when we see diagonal lines, that really makes it a little bit more interesting, because it's not something that we're like used to, especially when it's so straight like that. We're not so used to seeing so often as we do with horizontal and vertical. So it's going to, like we said before, start leading the eye. You're kind of giving them that guide, and then you can play with that guide if you want to, or you can break the rules if you choose to. So now we have to soften this a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of water over here to diffuse that light. And I think at this point, I'm going to start adding in a few more browns to make it appear as though it's cloudy. So I'm going to go back with the original brown that we made over here, maybe add a little bit more blue. And at this point, it's totally up to you how you want to do it. You can kind of dab the brown in like this, and then maybe go in with the round brush and sort of pull it across to make it appear more like clouds. And if you want to kind of scrumble it in like this, you can do that as well. And as it dries, it will kind of give you that cloudy texture. I'm going to pull it slightly through those diagonal lines. And if you want to go extra dark in certain areas, that makes sense because clouds are unpredictable in the way that they look. And you can have areas and patches that are much darker and then areas that are much lighter. All right, right now it doesn't look like much, but we're actually at a good place. So I'm going to start to clean up this area right here, pull some of that out, maybe clean up the horizon line a little bit and let it dry. And I think we're going to have some faint mountains right here. And I just kind of want to soften it a lot more now. And pull a few of these lines through again. And down here, maybe I just add a few cloudy shadows in the ocean. Okay, so next what we're going to do is why don't we start adding in some of these faint mountains with a round brush, a filbert brush, just something. And I'm going to keep the mountains over here pretty orange in color and pigment color because I do want it to appear as though it's cloudy over here. So it's kind of fading into the clouds a little bit more. And just make sure that you're choosing your horizon line wherever that may be. And I'm just going to kind of bring it in and fade it out here. And honestly, I'm not like spending very much time in these compositions because mainly we're just trying to learn. And these don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be like the most beautiful painting you've ever created. We're just trying to understand how and generate ideas of how we would create our pieces and things that we can add to our pieces to make them more interesting to your audience. All right, I think this is looking pretty good. It almost appears as though there are mountains here already and that they are fading into the cloudy area. So what I'm going to want to do, slightly different than this one, is I'm going to want to have the island, this part right here, right where that highlight is coming through. Now I made a little bit of an error right here. So that actually may be a good place to kind of put the mountain in and use a little bit of that error as like a happy accident and add it to my piece. Now I kind of want it to be a lot more high contrast. Dark shadows, maybe light areas, because the light is very strong in that area. So what I'm going to try to do with this one is only like add just a little bit of water to it. And I'm going to use this mistake that I see right here and try to add it as part of my painting. So I'm wetting my paintbrush, and now what I'm going to do is take a dry paintbrush and kind of just tap in the areas that I haven't really filled in. Kind of blend up slightly here. Kind of fade it into this one a little bit. and add a few shadows in the water. And now what we're kind of getting is a little bit more of an illusion. I think that's starting to look a little bit more interesting as a composition now. It really is starting to look more as if it's a natural landscape, as if you're kind of looking out at it. I think it might be kind of interesting if we were looking at it through, I don't know, like what kind of frame would work for you here? It might be nice to have an arch as though you're looking through like a beach resort and there's some beautiful Italian landscape and garden, then you're looking through the arch at this beautiful like peninsula. Or like we were talking about earlier, like just having a couple things poking out or peeking out here at the top here. And you don't always have to go crazy with your frames. Like if you just want to add slight like details, you can do that. It doesn't have to be tacky. Felt like the first one I did was like slightly tacky. They can kind of just come in, out. Maybe there's like grapevines or something. I don't know. Whatever it may be. And you can go as detailed as you want. But because it is a frame, keep in mind that people are probably not going to be paying attention to it too much. What they're going to want to be looking at more is what is going on in the center here. Okay, so at the moment, we are already starting to create a spiral. Now think of a seashell. It kind of begins in one area and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So if I were using the golden spiral rule and trying to apply that here, it may be beneficial to even have something like here. So when it's leading in, it's kind of ending at a point right here. So what could that be? Maybe it could be a bird, an airplane, or something, that is more in the foreground looking, flying off into the distance. And I'm not even really quite sure if we need that much. Perhaps what we do is just kind of add a few more like branches or tree things going off here. Something hanging down. I feel like now I have to do it. Let's see how this turns out. I'm going to kind of make it more of like a tree and maybe some like foliage or something kind of coming into frame a little bit more.